It is time for Stugotz to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy Stu.
Dan, no balls were bounced. No points were scored. But we had live reaction to a live event. Dan, if only for a weekend, sports were back. Draft grades. Trey Wingo, A++, my friend. Jalen Hurts, can't believe the Eagles went there. The Bulls hired a black GM. We going to report that with the same intensity as we did when we thought they weren't going to? Something to ponder. Don't think about it. Don't talk about it. Just stash it away and ponder it. When the Jets call the kids they draft, each conversation should start off with an apology. I got to tell you, Bill Belichick, in his own way, looks really happy to finally have Tom Brady out of his hair. If there was a GM draft and I had the first overall pick, I'd take Chris Ballard. After the Tua draft pick, the Dolphins went back to being the Dolphins, Dan. Almost choked there. 3 offensive linemen and 3 defensive linemen. You know why, Dan?
Their secondary is really good.
So they can run the ball and stop the run.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, my bad.
Everyone is playing checkers, Dan. You know what Chris Ballard is playing?
Chess, Stugotz.
Yeah, Dan, there you go. 1 for 2. You're back. How about that? Jesus. The Jets received an A, which means it'll be an F. Hey, touchofmodern.com. You know what happens when you don't let me into your site without entering my email address? I never enter your site. You never get my business. I'll decide when and if I want to give you my email address. Please. Touchofinvasionofprivacy.com.
Oh, dear God.
What happened there? How'd I get in there? I never even heard of the place. Matt Rule was the first coach to use all his picks on defense. You know why, Dan?
Because he's got the offense covered?
Because defense wins championships.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Oof. Terrible.
One might say defense wins championships is a rule to live by. Death, taxes, and the Ravens receiving straight A's after the draft. I got into the Touch of Modern site and didn't have to enter my email. Whoops! Sorry about that. It was very easy, by the way.
What happened? I don't understand.
I was trying to get in. I was dancing around. They were asking for an email address.
You just ripped them. You just called them a touch of invasion of privacy, and then you come back and, oh, never mind. I was able to get in there.
Well, what happened, Weekend Observations is a constantly flowing thing, and so I wrote that down, and then I wrote the observation that you can get in there without giving your email address, and I apologize. Whoops. Not really an apology. I just said whoops. I so wish that the right-wing militia tattoo was on a starting quarterback's arm. Oh, we be talking about it.
Well, we're talking about it anyway.
Well, you are.
Where's Trey Wingo? I want to talk to him about it.
A++, Dano.
I don't know. Put it on the poll, Guillermo, at LeBatard Show. Bigger Stugotz compliment, my MVP or my friend? Because he said A++, my friend. It is the greasiest thing he's ever done.
Jameis Winston, little advice. Spend your year in New Orleans looking for a new agent. The Cutler Cavallari divorce Tough to see that one coming. The next ESPN 10-part documentary should be Jay Cutler, Kristen Calavari. I messed it up. I messed it up.
Oh.
Now I can't even say it. I've lost my confidence. Say it. Say it for me.
No, let's stay here for a minute.
I just made her Calipari. I mean,
you're stuck. I don't mean to. Should we just descend full on into the dyslexia here? Because, or should I say it?
I don't think you should be throwing stones from your glass house, Dano.
Cavallari, Stugotz.
Cavallari, I know. Yeah,
my gosh, you show off. I did not have that.
No.
All right. Go ahead.
Jay Cutler, Kristen Cavallari. How 4 weeks in Turks and Caicos destroyed a marriage. I mean, I imagine Kristen Cavallari completely out of nowhere looking at Jay, calmly floating the idea, divorce? And Jay, even more calmly, responding, sure. Matt LaFleur said he imagines Aaron Rodgers leading the Packers for a really long time. Great. So why'd you draft a quarterback? Matt LaFleur said he thinks Rodgers will be a great mentor. Why would he have to be a mentor if you imagine he'll be your leader for a very long time? Here's what I think. You can't trust a guy whose last name is LaFleur.
Really? Xenophobia.
Oh, what happened? What does that mean? Also, Dan, you know what LaFleur is sending out? He's sending out mixed messages, Dan.
Oh, yeah, that seemed mixed. Uh-huh.
Trey Wingo, most underrated studio host in our industry. And I'm not just saying that because he saluted me with a Murray! Although it definitely factored in. I'm glad Joe Burrow has the Bengals playbook and offense down. Wait until he sees who he's executing it with. Going to parks, walking into random houses. Does Tom Brady realize we are under quarantine? Poor Brady. He finally gets out of quarantine and has to go right back into quarantine. He doesn't know what to do. Every time Brady sends a video from a Zoom, I keep thinking his connection is bad. But no, it's just his face that's frozen. Saints, 3 quarterbacks. You know what that means, Dan?
No.
It means they don't have one.
Really?
Yeah, I guess not. Most of the NFL
feels like they have 3. It feels like they have.
Well, when you have 3, you don't have one. That's the rule, Dan. I mean, if you had one, you wouldn't have 3. You know what I'm saying? You would have maybe a backup, and that's it.
The one is pretty good. The one we all.
Taysom Hill is very, very good. You're right. We'll see. We'll see if he can stay healthy.
All right.
Most of the NFL, Cam Newton's best is better than your quarterback's best, and he's still available. Hell you doing? Speaking of hell, or Bryles. Dan, those are the weekend observations.